Hey guys, my name is Zaire if you're new here, and I am very cheesy. I am very cheesy today because I was just sitting here and I'm like, yo, I'm such a nerd. And people look at me and they're like, you can't be. There's no way you could be. I'm like, y'all, but I am. I love reading. And it's quite comical because I'm like, I don't know. Some people think I'm so cool and smug and chill. But sit me down in the library with like my Kindle, a little cup of coffee, a little biscuit, a little treat, and I'm happy. Today I just wanted to bring you all my Kindle library tour, and I just finished filming like the whole little scrolling on my iPad to show you all my books, and something in me had just like reawoken because the books that I have in my library, I'm actually excited to read. Like, I have to get through them. I want to get through them. And, oh, I'm so sorry. That burp came up crazy. Um, and I'm not cutting it. So my library books are kind of like those new editions where I'm looking at them and I'm super excited about them. But the ones on my Kindle are ones that I have planned and plotted to get and to download because I did my research. Like, sometimes I'll watch other YouTube videos and figure out if that's what the book that I want to read. Other times I'll scroll on Goodreads and look at what's new, what's popular, whatever, and see if the book is really for me. And some of them I have actually picked up from other YouTubers' DNFs. Like, they said they didn't want to read them or they didn't like them. Or also some of the books are other YouTubers' favorite books to read or that they have reread like a bunch of times. So all in all, I hope you enjoyed my library tour, and let's just get right into it. So this is my Kindle library on my iPad. I don't actually read on my iPad, but for filming purposes, and I feel like it's the best like view so you can see versus the small screen of my iPhone. But anyways, yeah, I just wanted to show you all my current library, catch you up with the like books that I actually am reading, because it didn't update on my library just yet because I haven't clicked any of the titles. But as you can see, I do have some percentages done with Drop of Corruption, The Will of the Many, and Malice, but you can't see that on the iPad. So regardless, we're just gonna get into it. All right, yo, I wish y'all could see me because this is such an awkward angle for me to have my little tripod set up. My legs right now are like in the splits like a starfish because I gotta sink down to the level of the iPad. The first book I have here on my list is actually a Drop of Corruption. And oh no, well, I guess we're here now. I am about, let me see. No, I'm on page 78, 76, and I am 16% done with the book. And now Drop of Corruption is the second book from the Tainted Cup series. Ooh, that might actually not be the name of the series, but the first book was A Tainted Cup by Robert Jackson Bennett, and I absolutely love that book. I've already talked about it so many times, so I'm not going to go too in depth about what it's about, but that is currently a library book and I need to finish it ASAP, like in a couple of days. But I don't mind it because I'm actually really enjoying it. So any other free time I get from, like if I'm cooking something and it has to like do its thing, I might pull out my Kindle and read a little bit of that text. The next book that I have on here is Malice by John Gwynne. I've heard so many good things about that text, and I am actually reading that as kind of like my last try of this book genre, because I tried to read Jennifer Armentrout's Of Ash and Blood, and then I tried to read Kagan the Damned. Don't know who that's by, but both of those texts are very sword-esque. I don't know how to put it. It's not like Viking, but it's definitely like, armor, I guess. Castle. So I'm trying to just finish or start this text as a way of like, you know what? Is this genre for me or not? I got no clue. Next book that I have here is Project Hail Mary. People have been ranting and raving about that. It's actually getting turned into, I think, a movie or a TV show or something like that, but it's sci-fi. I went ahead and jumped on the bandwagon and decided to get it. The Unexpected Rain is another sci-fi. I think a murder happens and they're trying to figure out, because the murder, I think, of this technician or engineer who created this dome around the city dies, and then it inevitably leads to the mass death of a city. So I want to read that. The Spell Shop is this cozy little book about, let me see, maybe I can pull up the book description here. Actually, you're going to see me go through this whole thing. I don't care. Let's go into Goodreads and find it. Okay, so The Spell Shop is a romantasy debut, a lush cottagecore tale. She's a librarian at the Great Library of Elysium with her assistant, who is a magical sentient spider plant. Okay, go off. Apparently the library gets attacked and she has to take all these spell books that she can carry and go to a remote island, which is her childhood home. She takes refuge there, and someone whom is very handsome, apparently. Oh, I hope this is in view. Whom is very handsome, and they end up creating a shop of spells. But it just looks super cozy. Talk about a rom-com full of mythical creatures and fueled by cinnamon rolls and magic. And I got that text on here because you're gonna see, like, further down into my library, I got some questionable, scary choices. And I needed to balance it out with something cozy. So that's why the Spell Shop is on there. Next up, I have Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales. Y'all already know how I feel about Emily Wilde. That's my girl. Bamley, Wendell, that's my homie. He's cool. He's cute. He is lovely. And I really, really love their dynamic. I think they are smart and clever and so witty. And they work really, really well together. So that's the third book of the series. I just recently finished the second one. And yeah, I just want to get into that one as soon as possible. Next up, I have Silence of the Lambs. I know, right? A huge turn. So I read the first one, which was, Red Dragon was the first book of that series by, of course, the iconic, Thomas Harris. All right, so Red Dragon, man, oh my God. I talked about it again in some of my earlier videos on this channel, and Red Dragon had me in shambles. I did not want to read that book at night. I was like, this book is low-key kind of scary. Red Dragon is about, so Red Dragon is oh my God, the first book in the series by Thomas Harris. And he essentially is introducing Hannibal Lecter. And Hannibal Lecter is this serial killer, and the detective that is figuring out the mystery of Red Dragon is visiting Hannibal Lecter for some advice on how to catch this killer. It was a great book. It did not turn out how I expected it to be, but that was such a fun and exciting twist of events. But you can't read those books back to back. I do not recommend reading it back to back. You listen, you gonna go read Red Dragon, and then you need to hop into something like The Spell Shop. You're gonna read a couple of more chapters, and then you're gonna need to hop into Emily Wilde, because that book is a lot. Carrying that over, this, like, Silence of the Lambs was low-key kind of my first couple of reading experiences besides some philosophical books that I was reading. And you're gonna kind of see that I do have some more like scary books in this library, which I don't mind reading scary. Like, I don't mind it. It's just like, golly, like I need a break. And then we have another scary book, which is Voices in the Snow by Darcy Coates. And I have the description here pulled up on Goodreads, and you can screenshot it if you want. But paraphrasing, she is in a car accident. This stranger man tells her that he saved her, or claims that he saved her. She's trying to leave, but there's a vicious snowstorm. She feels like she doesn't know if she can trust him, even though he's kind. She begins to see and hear things that convince her that something else is creeping about the surrounding woods, watching. And she starts to feel like her car crash wasn't an accident. So again, this is like some scary little mystery that my brain kind of wrapped itself around. I think that texts like that are really like interesting, because you kind of try to solve the mystery with the characters, if that makes sense. Moving on to Carrying Comfort. Oh gosh, I do not remember when I added this, but apparently, Caught Behind the Lines of Hitler's Final Solution. Oh, what was I thinking? Multitudes destined to die in a notorious Kelmano extermination camp. All right. The present, compelled by the encounter to survive at all costs. Oh gosh. Plunging into the darkest corners of the 20th century history to reveal a secret society of beings who may often exist behind the world's most horrible, violent events. Yeah, I'm gonna need to get into this. Each year, 3 of the most powerful of this hidden order meet to discuss their ongoing campaign of induced bloodshed and deliberate destruction. All right, 4 out of 5 stars. I'm telling you, I don't know where I got that book recommendation from, but hey, listen, let's get into it. Sinland Ascends is this one right here. This is a book about a take on the Tower of Babel. A man is visiting the Tower of Babel. He enters with his wife, and then apparently he loses his wife. He's looking for her, but then he starts to put all these like, what's it called? He starts to put all these context clues together that maybe she didn't go missing, but she actually got kidnapped. So that's going to be interesting. But that book is thick, along with the 2 Week Curse, which is a series. still in a sense thick book. 2-Week Curse is a thick book, and I am kind of scared to read those two because I know once I start them, it's going to be forever. So I'm just kind of working my way up to it. The 2-Week Curse is more of like a D&D-esque book. I actually really, really love D&D. And yeah, it's a whole series. Like it's I think it follows a veteran and someone else, and they have to like escape or like go through these trials and tribulations and stuff, and they realize that they fight monsters. And yeah, it's just like very D&D built. Now, The Will of the Many. I'm telling y'all, I freaking love The Will of the Many. Let's see if I can go to it real quick. I was actually reading this on my X4, but a young fugitive uncovers layered mysteries and world-changing secrets. This kid, he essentially tells people that he was orphaned after a tragic accident, but in reality, he came from a really good school, a really notable place. He learned so much, and the idea of the book is that there's like this whole order of people, right? Let me see if I can show you all. But there's like this order of people, and they all have different levels of power because they imbue themselves with the power of others, if that makes sense. So when it says the will of the many, is all of these different ranks of officers or people, they can get the will or the strength of this many people. So if I was a Septimus, I would have the strength of 8 people. If I was a Principus, I would have the strength of 40,320 people. So that makes overthrowing or battling or fighting people quite difficult, and your rank is just like known. I haven't figured out how it's known. Oh my gosh, I hope this is not. So sorry. I don't know how the ranks of the people are known, but in one of the scenes, an Octavus fought a Sextus or a Quintus, and everyone was like betting on this fight, and they're like, oh, the Octavus is obviously gonna lose. But then some things happen, and oh my god, like, read the book, y'all, because the main character is strong, and I'm still trying to piece it out. Like, how are they actually strong? Are they cheating? But it's a good book, and I'm trying to take my time with it because right now my priority read is A Drop of Corruption. And now we have the big 3. Jade City. Everyone's talking about it. Again, screenshot if you want to read the description. But essentially, woo wop the bam, vicious politics, magic, kung fu. The Green Bone clans of honorable jade-wearing warriors once protected the island from foreign invasion, but nowadays in a bustling post-war metropolis full of fast cars and foreign money, the families are primarily involved in commerce, construction, and everyday upkeep of the districts. There's some fights and tensions against rivals that erupt in violence of the streets, and basically the book is following the fate of the family. So everyone's talking about that. I don't know for how long ago, but people said it was good. Foundry Side I picked up because it's the same author as A Tainted Cup, Robert Jackson Bennett, and I'm really trying to figure out if I want to read everything by that author, like literally everything, because I really enjoyed A Tainted Cup. So I picked that up. It also seems low-key quite dense. I think that it follows a bunch of different characters. Maybe not a bunch of different characters, but when I was reading it, it was like following this thief and she has powers. I think also in that book, and here you go, screenshot it if you need, but also in that book, there's going to be a lot of layers of mystery, like layers of classes, merchants, powerful rulers. And I did try to read it with, I don't know if I was reading Tainted Cup at the time, but I opened it and I think I read like 4 pages of it. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get so confused in the different orders and different powers of people. So I wanted to split it up so that my brain has a little bit more time to adjust to the environment and the setting. The Priory of the Orange Tree. Again, I heard it was good. I think it's about dragons. The book cover is very, very pretty. I love this blue and red. It actually, like, low-key was a suggestion from another YouTuber that I watch, and I've mentioned her a couple of times on here, but her name's Courtney. And here you go. So yeah, I got no idea what's going on, but there's assassins, there's a court, there's a queen. They're protecting people with forbidden magic, secretly protecting those people. And yeah, there's dragon riders. So whatever that might be, yo, I'm here for it. All right, let's try to move on along. Oh gosh, I got so many more. All right, we're going to speed through this. So Scythe, this is a part of a series. I think it's like some teenagers got selected to be the bringers of death. And yes, Scythes are the only ones who can end life, and they are commanded to do so. They're chosen as apprentices to the Scythe, though neither of them want it, but they both must master the art of taking a life. Anathema, I think that book's going to be really, really good. I'm actually super excited to read it. I did try to open it up again. I think it's on my ink. Let me just check really quick. I keep wanting to touch it like it's a touchscreen, but it is not a touchscreen. No, I actually took it off of here. Okay, that's interesting. I took it off of here. Oh no, it's here. It's right here. I think I tried to read at least 2 pages of that text, but I wasn't able to truly get into it. Let's see what it's about. So it is about a shunned woman who is forced beyond the mortal realm's forbidden boundary into a terrifying world of cursed souls and grotesque creatures. Seems like she's banished to the woods, and basically the woods is like alive. There's people who are trying to kill her. There's different environmental effects. Yeah, see, this is crazy. Like, so there's a lord who has an obsession with her, but the growing obsession with her threatens to destroy everything, including himself. It does not say it's a like romantasy, but it does say a plot heavy and atmospheric story with a unique magic system and a slow burn romance with a touch of horror. So, oh my gosh, I'm shaking so much, y'all. I'm so sorry. Yeah, it looks like it'd be good. And I think that's a book I really want to get into because I love the forest and the woods. So I'm excited to like dive into that world to see what kind of creatures they come up with. Because when you read these books, like they're always bringing in historical knowledge from fairy mythology or beliefs about spirits that are in the forest. So I'm wondering if Carrie Lake, the author of that text, is going to be pulling from things that are real and like hinting at all of the research she did to write the text. So the Wren in the Hollow Library was also something I'm super excited about. Yo, I think I'm just excited about all these books, and that's why I love reading, low key. Because looking at all of these in color, mind you, I don't have a color software like a Kindle color. My Kindle's black and white because I have the basic, but looking at it here on the iPad with the color is such a different like vibe. The Wren in the Hollow Library, it starts with, can you love the dark when you know what it hides? That's crazy. So basically, there's a monster that emerged from the shadows and plunged into the world, caused near total destruction. Oh, this is actually in New York City. Okay, that's crazy. The world she knew pretty much collapsed overnight. But tonight, a gifted and fearless thief will break that treaty. She'll enter the Hollow Library not knowing it's the home of a monster. He's charming, quietly alluring, terrifying. But she gets locked into a dangerous bargain with the creature. She'll sacrifice her freedom. She'll offer her skills. But he's been playing a game across centuries. Oh, okay. So is it going to be like this clever little like... I wonder if it's romance. Does she fall in love with the monster? I don't know. But that's exciting. The Absolute book, yo, I got no clue, but the cover was fascinating. So yeah, you should look it up. The Wild Dead is the second book of the Bannerless series. And to be honest, I think I gave Bannerless a 3 stars. So I might actually remove this book from my library because I don't know if I actually am going to finish it. Like, part of me wants to finish it just to say I completed the series, but I don't think I was really invested into the story or the characters themselves. I felt like the characters were very lacking some depth and quite confused as well. It is what it is. That's just my thoughts. So we'll see if I ever get to reading that. The Morning Star is a book about a professor and an artist with their children in a resort in Norway. Oh gosh, there's more people. Okay, a huge star suddenly appears in the sky. No one, not even astronomers, know for sure what kind of phenomenon it is. Is the star burning itself out? Is it a brand new star? Over the days in August, the characters of the novel will each understand what is happening differently. Okay, so I don't know. I think I added that because, again, I thought it was a cute little book. And low-key, I thought it was going to be about crows because I thought this image was like birds. I don't know if you can see it. I thought the image was like a what's it called? A murder of crows. But maybe it's more of like a life book. You know what I mean? Like people are like figuring out their lives and trying to patch it all together. We'll see. We'll see. Parasite, I'm not even going to get into that truly because, mind you, it's by Darcy Coates again. And I think, yes, she also did Voices in the Snow. So Parasite is a sci-fi book about, I think, a parasite that enters a spaceship. Like someone was researching it and decided to like let it out, or maybe it escaped or something. And I'm like, yo, if I was in that position, put me in a hazmat suit, put me in that little like locked chamber. Nothing is getting out, and I don't care how interesting this little bug is. I'm not gonna be taken like that. That's crazy. Dan Brown, Angels and Demons. That's the first book to the Da Vinci series. I just never read those books, and I think it's a classic, so I want to get into it. The Alice Network, I heard it was good. I added it. I think it's going to have a lot of strong women in it, which, you know, women, you know, that's great. I'd love to see it. I wonder if it's going to be like teamwork amongst women, because usually a lot of books kind of like put women against each other in some catty little romance or something, or like jealousy. But we'll see. I hope it has some really strong female characters in it, and I'm excited to read that. Nestlings is going to be like this scary little book. I think that's actually one that I'm going to look up real quick for you all, because I think Nestlings is, I wouldn't say it's sci-fi, but okay. It was a horror novel, yeah. So, oh gosh, come on, click. It won't, y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but it won't let me read more. Okay, whatever. So, Nestlings, basically a horrifically complicated birth of their first child, left Anna paralyzed, resentment for her baby, but paranoia creeps in when they can't explain the needle-like bite mark, I think, on the child itself. So maybe there's like some implant into the baby to give birth to something else. So it's going to be a scary book. We'll see. All right. Piranesi. I'm excited about that book because I don't know if you all know this about me, but if you want to, you can check out my last video where I talk about some of my journaling. But I really love philosophy books, and Piranesi, I think, is a term from either Greek philosophy, I think. I need to look more into it, but I got this book because it was a fictional version of like what Piranesi is. So here you go, you can screenshot it. So the Piranesi house is no ordinary building. Its rooms are infinite, its corridors endless, its walls are lined with thousands upon thousands of statues, each one different from all the others. Within the labyrinth of the halls, an ocean is imprisoned. So yeah, again, I love labyrinths. I love all that type of stuff. So I'm super excited about that. Apparently it explores evidence emerges of another person and a terrible truth begins to unravel, revealing a world beyond the one Piranesi has always known. So like, yeah, imagine being in a room that is like full of an ocean. That's crazy. So Tender is the Flesh. That's a book people were ranting and raving about as well. I think it's about a society that farms lower class people for meat. And one of the people that they're farming arrives to the butcher person and she's still alive. And I think he struggles with seeing her as a person. I mean, as he should, but he sees her as a person rather than meat. Strange Pictures is the second book. The first one was Strange Houses, and I really like the mystery. It's quite a small book. It's like maybe like that big or so, maybe like 200, 250 pages at most. It follows usually it follows some type of detective who's trying to piece it all together, and they're asking questions. And it's a Japanese author, so I think the writing is very different from some of the other authors, and I find it enjoyable. The Unworthy, y'all, I think The Unworthy is gonna be some type of religious, culty kind of book, and again, I'm here for it. I hope that it just doesn't follow the same premise that we see all the time, where the cult's crazy, person's escaping, and it results in the destruction of the cult, and the person escapes, but they're still changed somehow because the cult's way of thinking is never going to leave them. That's the typical story that we always see. I'm wondering if that's going to be any different. Face of Death, you all can look up. 0 Days, you can also look up. Notes from the Underground, I want to read this. I just need to actually get into it because I know this is going to be a deep book, but it's going to help me understand some culture that is very, near and dear to my heart. And yeah, I know I need to look that up, but it's going to be a big book. Deadly Cure, I don't remember what that one was about, and I can't remember if it was nonfiction or fiction, so I'm just gonna look it up real quick. Okay, Deadly Cure. Oh, I think it's fiction. So basically, a 5-year-old boy has a shocking set of symptoms. He dies. They accuse the physician who was treating the boy to prescribe a lethal dose, and it actually killed him. But he has to prove his innocence, and they have to investigate the murder. They're basically looking into the experimental drug from Germany, which has caused the death of at least 5 local children and possibly more. So he's drawn into a dangerous world of drugs, criminals, and politics. So that should be fun. Intercepts, I think you can look up as well. And like I said, some of these books, like including Intercepts, Deadly Cure, 0 Days, and Face of Death, those were like my early on, like, oh my God, I have a Kindle now and I can read things. Like, those are my early on books that I got. But then towards the upper half are books that I'm actually really, really interested in. I do plan to still get to these, but probably slower than these ones. So yeah, that's it. That is in my Kindle library. I think I have about maybe less than 50 books, less than 40 maybe. And I'm super excited to get into all of these. Like, I got some really notable ones here, some ones that are going to be taking me forever, and I just have to plan it. And you already know, I also still have all of my library books that I need to get into. So I said I wanted to read 80 books of this year, and I am currently 6 books ahead of my schedule. I still have a ton to read, and I do plan on getting through this library as well as some of my library books, and we'll see how it goes.